What's an intense dog? Like, you know, like a lion, an intense cat? What would be an intense dog?
A wolf. Today's episode is brought to you by Evian. They got Evian, natural spring water. Evian, who y'all bottle by? Y'all come from France. You about to get them euros.
This comes from Charlotte. You should be drinking this.
Um.
I'm in my third trimester.
Hey, shout out Nugget.
Third trimester.
Shmoney dance on him. Mutt Nugget in that shmoney dancing right now. Yeah, man. When you say drink had an ab muscles, I was like, yo, that is crazy.
They're all separated.
You got like,
oh. I think grits are very unique to the individual.
Yeah, but like, what is a grit?
A grain. Sorry, you petitioned me to change the name of grits.
Yeah, let's call it like
Lumpies.
Who?
Lumpies.
Lumpies.
Today we are talking about competition. So yeah, you experience competition if you are
basically doing anything in life.
In your life, like
people want to hate on you.
Athletes,
rappers,
musicians.
Chefs. They even got chef competitions. It's like my palate, my food tastes better than your food, bruh.
So yes, competition kind of like revolves around this thought that perception isn't real and that people are just better.
They're trying to surround us by competition, and we ain't gotta compete, man.
Okay, so if we're not really into this whole idea of competing, then like let's kind of pull it back to before you get to the point where like you feel like you have to compete with people. Like, what are you doing before you get to that point? I personally feel like you're honing your craft.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like everybody's working on stuff, and then it's like when they have to present. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do have to compete for attention because people's attention spans are so short. But
especially now,
people's attention spans getting shorter, and you look at what Rick Ross and Drake's album came out 2 weeks ago. Ain't nobody really talking about it. That's just how. On to the next. Jay-Z talked. On to the next. Well, that was actually Swiss Beats saying that, but it was Jay-Z's song. That's the mentality of people. So you got to compete in that sense. So I know, like in the marketing prospect, you got to put stuff out, but that's not. It doesn't have to be a spirit of negative competition. Man. It's just,
definitely. Okay, negative competition, totally. The thing that frustrates me about competition is that people get so wrapped up in how whatever they create is going to compete with people that they think they should be competing with, that they stop putting thought into.
They stop being themselves.
Yeah.
They start basically becoming. They're trying to become the other people. It's like everybody in every other lane, anybody that you look up to, be like, how'd they make it? Talk to them, interview them. I make my own lane. They play their own ways, and because they play their own ways, they're successful.
You can't follow somebody else's steps, and I feel like competition, it puts people in the same lane. Yeah. Like literally, it forces people to do things the same way.
It's literal traffic.
So that you can categorize them, and I feel like that's so detrimental to creation.
One person I want to shout out is my boy Celeste from the Sky. And one of the things he said to me, we were just having a conversation, and I took it to heart because I was like, damn, that's real. But he was like, he doesn't like to listen to other people when he's in the process of creating his music because he feels as though it kind of like makes him forget who he is and who his sound is. Even like Lil Wayne, who's like the most, think about it, the most influential artist of our era, or one of the most influential artists of our era, he claims to live under a rock. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, so if he lives underneath a rock, but he's inspiring everybody, what does that tell you? He's not taking
focusing on
him. He's not taking anything in, but yet, because he's not doing that, he's able to give so much out.
Completely agree. So then, when you have people like Wayne and then Celeste of the Sky, who is phenomenal, and his music is so different from not only anyone in Charlotte, but just like a lot of what I've heard in general from people his age. When you look at people who are so unique and so individual, and then you look at the normal people in our age group who live off of social media, who live off of television, who live off of like recycled images of who we're being taught we're supposed to be, that's why everything is starting to sound the same. That's why everything's starting to be the same. And it's just like, you think you're competing? Like, even people on Instagram who are competing for followers, like, you think you're competing, but what are we competing for? What are we competing for? Like, what is the end game?
I think because people have access, people don't appreciate stuff. That's why everybody's always on to the next. People don't appreciate like the true artists or the true models or the true photographers because everybody's a photographer and everybody's a model.
But I think what separates those people from the actual craft and when you actually start creating for yourself and doing for yourself is the connections you make. Because when you're actually passionate about creating music, when you're passionate about modeling, when you're passionate about YouTubing, when you're actually passionate about things, you want to share that passion. So then you start making connections with other people who like make you feel better about it, who make you want to do better, and then oh god, you're developing. I feel like our reasoning behind a lot of things, including competing, kind of shows how far we're gonna get and kind of affects our development too.
It's not how much you get, it's how you get it.
It's all about the journey and like this intense society where all we do is compete with one another now, especially because of social media. I hate to always shit on social media, but
that's
like,
my social media alert goes off.
And like even when you like think of all the greats, like when you think of like LeBron James, like one of the like superstars.
Why do people hate this man? That's why I say it's competition. Okay. How do you hate LeBron James? Put all his friends work for him. He put them all through college. This man, all he do is play basketball and take care of the people around him. And he's the best NBA player in the game right now. Why?
So maybe because so many people are used to living outwardly for other people, they have an aversion to people who aren't competing. They have an aversion to people who don't do everything for their approval.
Yeah, I can attest to that, and I can agree with that. Like that's
because LeBron just seems to be living.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the most hated people are the people that's just living.
You know who's a really good example of someone who does not compete at all?
Drop that check. Who?
Chance the Rapper.
Exactly, and my man Chance is winning. But again, I look at Chance like, cause Chance is somebody. Now I don't know Chance personally, but I'm just going off the vibe that I get from Chance. Definitely. Chance is a person that just lives a positive life.
This idea that we're competing, of course, if it helps, if it motivates you, totally. Let it motivate you to a certain extent. But I feel like this idea of competition is also ingraining in us that people are against us. And I feel like when we get so defensive, then all of a sudden we're just so ready to jump at anyone who looks at us the wrong way, anyone who says like something slightly critical about what we create. When in reality, it's just like a lot of the people that we perceive to be against us,
they ain't. And then I remember, I don't know where I heard this at, but this really stuck with me. I heard dog hollers. Stuff on Facebook, you see people sub-posting you, they might not be talking about you at all.
But isn't it crazy how you now have this negative vibe because you think that somebody was upset with you or talking about you when like it had nothing to do with you, but you still have that negative vibe now that you put onto yourself.
And exactly, it's like I feel like that's why I say being positive is hard.
It is.
Like, but it's also once you build that mind frame up, it becomes so easy. It's just like when you change your diet. Like I drink water. I haven't drank soda in like so long. Like I can't drink a soda without burning my throat. Feel like I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's just been so long since I did that. And it's the same thing with like thinking negative. But once you build it up, it just becomes second nature. And you don't even take stuff that way because why? I'm not focused on what anybody else has to say.
Boom. And I think it's very hard for people who are focused on positivity to be focused on other people.
Because I'm so focused on being positive, you can't focus on nothing else.
Exactly, because in the world we live in right now, you do have to focus on being positive.
Right. So like every day you have to just combat every single negative thought that comes in your head with like, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, shut up, man.
And I think it's also important to remember that nobody no can do what you do.
Nobody's gonna do it.
You do it. But no one can do it like you. So when you start focusing on yourself and then being the best that you personally can, it doesn't really matter who's like better or worse because your quality of what you produce is your quality. Like, no one's doing it like you.
I was driving up here and I was coming from Sharon Road and I saw this construction dude and like he had a hammer. He was just hammering on like this ground, like it was like breaking up this like sidewalk. And I was like, why don't you use a jackhammer, right? Because I'm like, I'm lazy. I'll use a jackhammer. He was just hammering and hammering and hammering. And I was like, yo, this is. But when he got up, he had the biggest smile and he was like, yeah, I did this. And I'm like, hey, Hey, do you, bro?
Exactly.
Do you? I want jackhammer, but just because I want jackhammer, just because I use jackhammer, don't mean you can't use a hammer, bro. That doesn't matter, bro. If that's what makes you happy, bro, do it. It don't matter.
Maybe the foundation wasn't stable enough for jackhammer.
Exactly, because that's the thing. I don't know nothing about that. You do.
So, and like, but that's the
That's
exact
the whole thing.
point. Oh my gosh, I love doing these. These are so awesome.
Me too, man.
Do you want a honey bun? Of course. Oh god, I'm looking forward to this so much.
Who made this honey buns?
Sarah Lee.
Shout out Sarah Lee. Drop that check.
Okay, you guys, so that is this week's episode of Positivity Talks. If you have any ideas on what we should talk about or what you would like next week's topic to be, leave it down in the description box, or if you're watching this on Facebook, leave a comment, let us know. Thank you so much for all the support on the last video.
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh my god.
That was dope.
You guys are lit.
Y'all are lit.
I can't.
Including you.
I can't.
Including you.
Is my finger straight? Okay.
Yeah, there you go, you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thanks just for the support in general. And thanks for joining this positivity movement.
Because everything is negative around us. So we got to, you know what I'm saying? We got to push.
Lift it up. Raise these vibrations.
Positive energy can never be defeated.
I think that's going to be our slogan. I know you have it on your website, but...
Yeah, man. That's like our slogan, man. Well, Kizzy actually made it. That's like Kizzy's slogan.
I'll find something else.
Nah, man. Use it, man. It's the truth.
Kizzy stuff.
It's positive energy can never be defeated.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll see you next Friday.
Yeah.